I've been using the Hollyland Lark 150 Duo microphone kit setup as my go-to lav mic kit on a few jobs in the last few weeks. I'd like to thank Hollyland for sending me the mic kit, which is very nice of them. They do not get to see this review before I have published it.
I love you like la 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 la.
I have also been using this on some real-world jobs in my full-time profession as a video marketer. First thing you'll realize about this mic kit is in its name, Lark 150 Duo. That means we have two different wireless transmitters that we can attach to two separate subjects at once, which can give us two individual channels of audio. These two different channels are split up into left and right. So when you import these into your editor, you can then duplicate the audio channel and then set each of those to be stereo of the right channel and the other stereo of the left channel. This is very easily done, and this means that we have two full stereo signals with their own volume control that is fantastic to use in any sort of interview or even a dramatic scene. I'd like to get into the nitty-gritty usage of this mic, but first I would like to just talk about the design quite briefly. While I'm talking about the design, I am going to mention the Rode Wireless Go, the first edition, a few times. I think it's important to mention the Rode Wireless Go because when I look at this Lark 150 Duo setup, it's important to remember that things like the Rode Wireless Go exist because no product is created in a vacuum. So we need to think about what it does well and then what it does well comparatively to potentially its leading competitor in the consumer enthusiast space. Now, compared to the Rode Wireless Go, which comes in its own little soft pouch and has two very nicely designed transmitter and receiver that work really well, and they have that sort of Rode build quality. Rode is an Australian company and they do put out some of the most compelling products for content creators and even enthusiasts and top tier film professionals. Hollyland's background is actually in wireless transmission of video. They create video streaming and wireless video monitoring systems that are comparable with things like Teradek, which you might see on larger film sets. The design of this Lark 150 Duo wireless mic kit feels a lot more 2021 or even just 2020 or 2019 than the Rode Wireless Go does, or even the Rode Wireless Go 2 does. They decided to supply and present both the transmitters and the receiver inside this one quite modern, very minimal little charging case. Yes, I just said charging case. So on the back of here, we actually have a USB-C input, and this case can supply power and charge both of our transmitters and our receiver. Once we've opened up the case and we tap on one of the volume knobs, which are these two really nice physical volume knobs, we then have the battery status of both of our transmitters and our receiver on here. And then we can take out one of our transmitters, which has its own indicator to say that it's connected, and also has a built-in mic, just like the Rode Wireless Go. So you can see in terms of usability and practicality for a small-time crew, it's very easy and very simple to use. When I say a wireless case, it does work the same way the Apple AirPods work and other wireless charging headphones. Each transmitter has about 4.5 hours of battery per transmitter, and then the receiver has about 7.5 hours battery. Then the charging case can charge each of these about 2.5 times. Since actually getting the kit, I have only charged up the case once, and apart from that, I've been just dropping in the transmitters and the receiver, and they've all been charging up perfectly well in my bag while I'm on the move, and the next time I open it up, they're charged again, I get back to work, and they work brilliantly. That is the good parts of the design. And don't get me wrong, am I carrying this with me from now on? Yeah. But there are some problems. Along with this extremely elegant storage and charging solution, there is a slightly less elegant arm of the design, or less elegant cousin, if you will, and that is quite a typical drawstring bag. Not that, I'm not complaining, you know, drawstring bags are good, they're handy, they're easy to sort of shove into slightly small places sometimes, but I just kind of wish they decided, let's change around the space of the case, made it a little bit bigger, a little bit taller maybe, to accommodate these additional accessories. So, unlike the Rode Wireless Go, the Lark 150 Duo kit does come with 2 individual lapel mics. Within the kit, you get 2 individual lapel mics that both come with their own windsocks too. And the windsocks that come with these, this might sound like over flattery, but they're extremely easy to get on and off of the lapel mic. The fact that the kit comes with 2 of these is extremely helpful because that means you're not spending an additional, I don't know, 50 to 100 quid on getting 2 more lapel mics for your kit. That is if you don't own any already. And then also within this kit, we have our 3.5 to 3.5 double male end for the receiver to go into your camera. Then we also have a 3.5 jack that is is it a TTRS? I forget what it's called again. Sorry, TRRS 3.5 jack that will allow the audio signal to translate to smartphone recording. So that means with this kit, you have everything included in the package to record both on a mirrorless or DSLR camera, anything with a 3.5mm input, and then also onto something like an iPhone or a Samsung or Android phone. So all this additional kit and accessories that is provided to us when we get the Lark 150 Duo is fantastic, but sadly, it doesn't fit in the charging case. And yes, this might be a small complaint, but I feel like if you're gonna make a case for all these things, why not make it so we can fit in the rest? Luckily, you can just about fit in the 3.5 jack for your camera. You can fit in that one. You can hear it's now in there rattling around a little bit. So that's at least something, but I do feel like if you're gonna provide 2 lapel mics, which is a huge bonus, go all the way and think, how can we accommodate an extra bit of storage into the case? Again, the drawstring bag isn't the end of the world, but it's just one extra thing that you have to bring with you. So when you're actually looking at everything, you've got this, and then that. In theory, and maybe they want you to do this, maybe they want it to be stored in like that, but you know, I don't do that. This goes separate, this goes separate, and that's how I carry it. Now I'd like to show you the real world examples of the usage I've had in professional work recently using these microphones. Some are good examples, some are slightly rough examples, just to sort of show you the variety of results that you can get from this microphone kit. We have some where we're using just one mic with a stereo input, so both left and right channels are from one subject. Then we have a walking interview where there are a left and right 2 separate subject audio. We'll call this example right here our Rode Wireless Go imitator. This is a single Lark 150 mic, but using the Purple Panda lavalier mic, which I used to use on my Rode Wireless Go. And we are recording one subject via one stereo channel into the receiver into the Sony A7C. Now, in terms of this setup, we have the preamp on the Lark 150 set pretty damn high, and then on the Sony A7C set fairly low. It's between level 5 and level 8 on our camera's internal preamp.
The whole route for the next couple of days is 70 kilometres. I'll see how much I can do today. I want to see if I can maybe do 50, 55 kilometres maybe. It gives me much less to do tomorrow because I'm also skating a bit tomorrow. So I just want to leave myself like a little bit of energy to do that.
That test was the raw audio, and now let's hear it with a little bit of audio editing.
The whole route for the next couple of days is 70 kilometres. I'll see how much I can do today. I want to see if I can maybe do 50, 55 kilometres maybe. It gives me much less to do tomorrow because I'm also skating a bit tomorrow. So I just want to leave myself like a little bit of energy to do that.
As a single mic stereo setup, this is very good for professional work, and I can recommend it in this use case. Next, we're going to look at a walking tour of Hebden Bridge in West Yorkshire as part of this cycling documentary that I've been helping to film in the last month. We have 2 subjects walking around Hebden Bridge. One is going into the left channel, one is going into the right channel. So I'll play you that now just as the left and right channel, not set to stereo, unedited. This is how you would get it out of camera.
And they're brilliant, very...
What was the first response to that like when you first applied?
Open arms.
Was it?
Yeah, it really was. The I wasn't part of the organisation during the first year. I joined in the second year. I moved back to Hebden or was away somewhere else.
The levels here are a little bit different because one channel is a bit louder than the other because that's just how different people speak, and different people speak at different volumes and have slightly different intonation in voices, which is why it's so good to have these split up channels and why it's so good to be able to have adjustable volume knobs for each channel. So as you're going along and you're listening with your headphones, you can pick out, okay, they're getting a bit hot there. This one's sort of whispering a little bit or being a bit quieter. You want to bring it up and just sort of work that balancing act. Full disclosure, I was filming that on a gimbal with the Sony a7C with headphones in, adjusting my ND filter and monitoring audio at once. I think I'm getting to the end of my single person operation days. I need to start working with bigger teams. But yes, you can juggle it as a one person operator while doing sort of a demanding setup and shoot. Now let's listen to more of that interview, but we're going to have our channels split up into their individual stereo channels now. So both of them are going to come through on the left and right channel for you, but I will not apply any audio editing at the moment.
And they're brilliant, very...
What was the first response to that like when you first applied?
Open arms.
Was it?
Yeah, it really was. I wasn't part of the organisation during the first year. I joined in the second year. I moved back to Hebden or was away somewhere else.
And now let's continue, but with some slight audio editing, so close to what would be a deliverable audio track.
And they're brilliant, very...
What was the first response to that like when you first applied?
Open arms.
Was it?
Yeah, it really
Good.
was. I wasn't part of the organisation during the first year. I joined in the second year. I moved back to Hebden or was away somewhere else.
All in all, having used this mic now for a few weeks on a few different projects, I'm very happy with its performance, and it will be taking the Rode Wireless Go's place in my bag. Now, would I change my mind if I had the Rode Wireless Go 2? That's a difficult thing to say. I have not personally used it, but from what I can see, the design and charging situation hasn't been improved or changed in any way, so it's still a case of USB-C into each transmitter and the receiver, and to me that is a bit of a drawback of the Rode Wireless Go. I always hate having to plug in both, keep an eye on them both that they're charging at the same time. They don't take super long to charge, but the convenience of the Hollyland case for the Lark 150 is just fantastic. I mean, it works the same way that AirPods do. So if you can think about how incredibly convenient items like AirPods are, it's that convenient when it comes to a sound kit. That, along with having the two individual audio channels that each have their own physical volume adjustment knob, makes it a much easier choice over the Rode Wireless Go. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and all the details on the Lark 150 have been covered for you as well. Any additional questions on the mic kit, drop them in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.